Hello, and welcome to my very first ever vlog. If you are listening to this on a podcast, then you should know that I have a vlog now. I'm a vlogger, apparently. And so I am using the audio from this vlog to put on my podcast because I know a lot of y'all are already listening to me there, and I wanted to, continue sharing the updates there. This has been a long time in the making. I've honestly always wanted a YouTube channel and vlog, and I've always been afraid of being seen in that way, which obviously we will get to in just a minute. But it's really stopped me from starting this. And I was talking to, one of my clients posted this in my coaching group today, the Self-Made Celebrity. She was like, I had this realization. So I'm always teaching people how to feel safe being seen. And she said, this is Eliza, shout out Eliza. She was like, I realized that in my growth, something that I needed to do was feel safe being seen trying. And I was like, you know what? That's it. That's the thing, is learning how to feel safe trying. And a funny story with that is that I recorded this vlog episode that we're going to get to in a second. And you're going to see, I'm nervous as hell, so chaotic. The energy, the vibes, weird, super weird. And I was so nervous. And last night I went trick-or-treating. It's the first time with my baby, and he's still learning how to walk. So it was super fun. And I come home and it was late, and I just was messing around with the video, and I ended up, I don't know, I just thought that I could put it on the podcasting platform and then edit it. And then all of a sudden it was 1 o'clock. I was like, oh shit, I need to go to bed. So I closed my computer, wake up the next morning, realize, oh, I actually published it, and it has fully been already played by a lot of people. So good for me. It made absolutely no sense. There's no intro, no outro. The sound quality, as you will hear, is bad. So anyway, this is me though, in the spirit of Eliza's realization. This is me trying and feeling safe being seen trying. And I think, with this work, I'm so passionate about helping others feel safe being seen and putting messy work out into the world. So if you caught that, then consider yourself blessed. But I'm figuring this out. I'm stumbling along. Honestly, this journey is fun. I'm excited to take y'all with me as I do continue this vlog. It honestly feels very meta. For those of you who've been around for a long time, I feel like I'm kind of Jessica in a way. If you know Jessica, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you will know. So, but anyway, I hope that you enjoy this first ever vlog. Make sure and subscribe. Let me know what kind of content you're interested in hearing about. And thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And thanks for your patience as I figure all of this out. Hello, I'm Whitney Uland, and this is the very first episode of How to Be Famous with Whitney Uland. I have re-recorded this episode 4 times now because I'm so freaking nervous. So it's a Saturday morning. I'm here, my kid's doing puzzles in the other room. I'm here just getting ready, and I was I'm gonna go get ready, and then I'm gonna go do pick up some coffee. I'm gonna get all centered, and then I'm gonna re-record it. And then I realized I am just self-sabotaging. I'm fully just self-sabotaging, which is literally what I teach my clients how to do. How to stop doing, I mean. And the reason that I'm self-sabotaging is the exact thing that I help my clients with. So here's the thing. I'm Whitney Uland. I'm an actor, writer, and certified life coach, and I help artists, creatives, and influencers who want to become famous. And my mission is really about helping really good-hearted celebrities or create good-hearted celebrities. And so I help people become famous, and I also help people who are already famous become more famous, because I really believe that if we have more good-hearted celebrities, then the world will be a better place, because celebrities have impact, right? Fame is really just the resource of having people's attention. And so if we have more people with really important missions from really, inclusive, diverse backgrounds, things like that, then the world is going to be a more equitable place. So that's why I do what I do. And then I also make art, which is really fun. But I've been wanting to start this YouTube channel because I'm at a big life transition right now. So I have a baby now, surprise. He's about 1.5 years old. So I'm still definitely figuring out the whole parent thing. If any of you have had a kid, that's that in and of itself, huge transition. I also, right before I got pregnant, moved across the country from New York to LA. So that was a big change. I moved here with my then husband. So that's the third thing, is that now I'm getting divorced. So obviously no one expects to get married and get divorced. My ex and I were together 11 years, and I fully was like, he's my person forever. Like, honestly, if you listen back to old podcasts, I probably say that a lot. So all of this has been very, I just feel like my whole life has been turned upside down. I mean, it has, it literally has. And I moved across the country and then immediately got pregnant. And it was still during like COVID-y times. And okay, I should give context, is that when I left New York, I was like fully in it as an actor and a filmmaker. So I had just shot my first feature film that I directed, wrote, and starred in. I had just booked a recurring role on television on an HBO show called Love Life, which starred William Jackson Harper. I like had like a top agency. I was signed across the board. Like, all of the things were like really going well for me. And there was a pandemic though, so like things had kind of halted with production, things were kind of slowing down. And so then I got pregnant, and it was a surprise, which I feel like I can say because I was a surprise baby. So anyway, all of that to say, it was a surprise, and I'm very pro-choice, but I really felt like my intuition was saying like, now's the time, things are slow anyway, you've already built this career, you also have this coaching business, so you can kind of spend some time growing that while, you know, taking some time off of your acting and writing and directing career. So, and like that made sense, right? Because of the pandemic. Hi, Angel. That made sense because of the pandemic. But then I got really, really sick during pregnancy. Like, so sick. I was like very mentally ill. Like, I had really bad depression, really bad anxiety. Like, and so I really just kind of had to shelf a lot of my goals. Like, I was just looking back at my tax returns since I'm like going through all my divorce shit. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that year I like didn't, I'm like, I don't know what I did that year. I mean, obviously I know what I did. I was creating a human, and that's a huge fucking thing. And then I'm sure at some point, if you're not familiar, I'll share my birth story because it was so transformative and so amazing. But all of this to say, I had a baby. My ex had just started a business. Like, he was super busy. I was focused on trying to continue growing mine, becoming a new mom, like all of that was going on. And then this year, early spring was when or I guess late spring was when my ex and I decided to separate. And so my life has been turned upside down. And now I'm at this place though where, you know, if you've been through divorce, I mean, this was literally my first breakup. Like, this was my college sweetheart. So I've not been through a breakup before. And then I'm sure just like adding in the complications of being married, sharing a child, figuring out custody, and, you know, all of that. It's just been a lot. It's rocked my world like upside down. And so, however though, I'm finally at a place where I feel like I have some space. I have some creative energy. I can like see, I feel excited about the future again. Like, I can start to feel more of like vision again for what my goals are, what my dreams are. And luckily, like, I do have this amazing coaching business, which if you don't know, I'll talk about that I'm sure a lot at some point. But I have this amazing community, I have this amazing audience, and I have the like literally the best clients. Like, again, I'm helping people who have big missions become famous. And I'm sure, again, I'll get into how I do that. But what I realized was I was just like, I've taken a hiatus from what's important to me, and it's time to go back and figure that out. And I feel like I'm having this just like identity up level, identity shift. And so it really is an exciting time, but then it's also like I'm kind of going from like now I'm just like, okay, fuck, I have to practice. I swear a lot, sorry if you're new here. I'm just like, I gotta practice what I preach. Like, so if I'm helping other people become famous, then like, and that's what I want, then like this shit better work for me too, right? So all of this to say, that's the goal. My goal right now, again, I act, write, and direct. Right now, what feels the best, so I was just on set, which maybe is a whole other episode, but that I'll talk about, but I was shooting with a very large artist, a very large celebrity. But right now, I'm just not feeling as like pulled to acting, which is really weird. That's another whole thing with like all of this identity crisis, is I'm just like, I'm like second guessing myself, because I have a degree in acting. Like, I'm like, why is that not, like, it would be not that difficult to get another acting agent, submit for more, like get my agents back on my commercial shit. Like, it really, like, get back into acting class. Like, I don't know, get new headshots. Like, it's like I know all of the steps to do that. And maybe as we're on this journey, I'll realize that that's all self-sabotage also, and I'll like want to get back into it. But sorry, I just have to figure this out. I'm like, I honestly love my waves, but sometimes they just need a little bit of zhuzhing. Anyway, so all of this to say, I might find out that I'm also hiding from doing that, just like how I was hiding from making this post. But right now, what does feel the most aligned is to work on selling a TV show. That's something that like has been, okay, we're good. We just knocked over the bath toys. But that's something that like has been a goal for a long time of mine. While I was pregnant, I did write a few scripts that I'm like really passionate about. I also have some unscripted series, and this is something that like I've made web series, I've made a feature film, I had a development deal that ended up falling apart. Do you need some help? Okay, we're back. We just needed a bottle, which I find relatable. Okay, so anyway, all this to say, I've done a lot of things. Like, I've written on movies, I've made my own features, I've done web series, I've done short films, I've done, like, as an actor, writer, director, I had a development deal for a YA show that fell through at the pandemic. Like, it started like February 2020. Like, I've won a bunch of awards with independent projects. Like, I've done a lot, but I haven't had my shows, like, I don't feel like I've been able to get like the platform behind, like platforms or like studios and streamers and all of that behind my work yet from the inception, which to me would give me a lot of creative freedom because there's more money involved. I have access to like different, you know, collaborators, to different artists, like different things like that. So that feels like that's the next level for me. And also just feels like, you know, I have these scripts, they're really like, I mean, I really love them. I'm sure I'll talk about them a little bit more and what's important to me about them, but they're all like very much a part of my mission. And so I do, like, that does feel like an aligned step. I'm like so anxious right now that I don't even know what I'm doing to my face. Like, I'm pretty sure I look like I just got sunburned. What are we doing? Our best. That's the answer. We're doing our best. So anyway, all this to say, that feels like the next step for me. And so I wanted to start this platform as like kind of an accountability partner to myself, and also just to like prove that what I teach as a coach is real, which basically, again, this is all going to tie together. Oh my God, this is cuckoo, but new news is that I believe that, okay, there's a difference between fame and celebrity. What is this red patchy? Oh my God. Okay, so there's a difference between being famous and being a celebrity. Fame is just the resource of having people's attention. There are plenty of people who are famous who are not celebrities, right? But I also believe that that goes the reverse. There are people who are celebrities but are not yet famous. And a celebrity is the identity of a person who eventually is, you know, usually famous. But not all celebrities are famous, and not all famous people are celebrities. So celebrity, how you become a celebrity is to create what I call celebrity energy. Now what this is, it's kind of the like je ne sais quoi, that like it factor. It's this thing that you can't put a finger on what it is, but when someone is magnetic, and it's a very compelling, it's just a magnetism. So what I teach and what I work with on my clients, and now the work that I'm doing to myself, is that to create that magnetism, what gets in the way of it is, so, okay, sorry, I'm like all over the place. If you're an actor, you know that you never want to be on stage with a baby or a dog, because they will pull focus. Not because they're distracting, but because they're so present. What it is they become so magnetic because they are not inhibited by fears. They're just showing up and existing in this like really, like what I believe again is just our natural state. And what happens because of 3 reasons, which I'll get to I guess in a second, is that we hide those. So we cover that natural state for ourselves. So it's kind of like, you know, just because I'm just gonna move this. Just because there's fog clouding a mountain doesn't mean that the mountain disappears, right? Same thing. We all have access to this magnetism, but not everyone knows how to tap into it. But if you do tap into it, that's when you can create what I call that celebrity energy. So essentially the antithesis to celebrity energy is just fear. So our brains, we are wired for survival. Our only job is to stay alive, or especially like if you think about how we've evolved from cavemen and cavewomen. And so a caveman's job was just to stay alive and part of that was to not upset the tribe, to not upset anyone around them, because if you upset your community, then you could get attacked by bears. You could like be alone and have to like find your own food, find your own shelter. If you got like this little Ilya birthday thing, I'm pretty sure, has been my go-to. But if you like were alone, again, if you were like exiled from the community, then you would have to find your own food. You could get hurt and then be abandoned. Like, it's very vulnerable. So we have this instinct to not upset anyone. Yeah, honey. And so our brains don't want us to like, our brain is always looking over our shoulder to be like, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? So that gets in the way of being able to tap into this like natural state, this this celebrity energy, this magnetism. Second off is that like if you think about that, a tribe was probably only like 120 people. Whereas now, if you're trying to create fame, you're gonna have the eyeballs of like millions of people on you, which means there's millions of opportunities for you to be rejected, which again, your brain perceives as a threat. Thirdly though, so like I feel like I'm adding in a fourth one. I usually say that there's only three, but third is that if you're creating something that your family has not created yet, aka fame, then your brain is going to perceive that as dangerous. So that's why, you know, like Nepo babies, it's like my kid, he's a Nepo baby. Like, he's taking manager meetings right now. And like he had his first agent when he was 6 months old, and there is privilege to his connection, but even more so is that like he's gonna grow up knowing that like he can have his dreams, because it's just gonna seem so normal for him if he like, assuming that he wants to like be a rock star or whatever, which as a sidebar, my tarot reader did say he's gonna be famous, so I can't wait to see how that unfolds. And he does have really great rhythm. I'm just like clearly already a stage mom, but anyway. So unless you grew up where like your family was also like influencers, your family was also artists, whatever that is, your brain is going to perceive what you're doing as dangerous. And then third thing, or this is normally third, but I guess now I'm at 4, is that if you've ever done something and failed, your brain is going to perceive that as dangerous. So a lot of like the artists I work with, it's like they've had so many failed auditions. And again, you can, because this is your energy, this is like your magnetism, you can't fake it. Like, we have your energy is kind of like an energetic body odor, where it's like people can sense it on you. So it's just like how you can go on a date and someone can say all the right things, but you can just like feel if they're desperate, right? That's the same thing. That like desperation, that need, that fear, that lack, that scarcity, that is the antithesis to celebrity energy. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that celebrities don't feel fear, but there is a very specific way that you have to not feel fear in order to create fame, and that is that you have to feel safe being seen in a really authentic way, in a really vulnerable way. And so, like, if you think about, like, and a lot of the time, like, a lot of the creators and artists that I see, it's like they're comparing themselves right now. They're like trying to follow where their favorite like idols and role models are right now, instead of looking at where they started. Like, if you were to look at how any of these people started, anyone that you admire showed up in a really vulnerable and really authentic way that cut through the noise. Cutting through the noise only happens though when you're showing up as you, as like the most authentic version of you. So anyway, all this to say though, your brain doesn't want you to do that. Your soul knows, like, you're a creative, you're a creator, you're here on the earth, you have a mission, you have a story, you have a perspective, you have, you know, whatever that is, but your brain's gonna perceive that as a threat. So all this to say, that's exactly what my brain has been doing today. Me and my little fake sunburn. Is that I have been putting off starting this podcast because I am afraid to admit where I'm at right now in my life. I'm afraid to admit that how that I'm going after this, because it feels so vulnerable to like now have the internet as my accountability partner for selling these shows. And also like, what if again, like I've worked with hundreds of artists, creatives, and influencers. Like I do know my shit. I've worked with celebrities. I've worked with everyone from like students to red carpet celebs. And I have like implemented what I teach as a coach, which is why I've created the traction in it. But now it's like, okay, well, what if this doesn't work for me? And then I'm a fraud, right? So all of this to say, this has been really scary, really vulnerable. That's why my brain though is so like, because my brain thinks it's scary, thinks it's vulnerable, it's finding all of these sneaky ways to self-sabotage me. So, okay, I'm exhausted now. I kind of feel like maybe this is like, I just feel like I word vomited so much. So that's the gist of this though. That's why I'm here, is that this is me taking things to the next level and bringing y'all along with me to test out my theory. Can I become a celebrity? Can I become a self-made celebrity even by tapping into celebrity energy? So that's the test. This has been the scariest thing that I've recorded. And thanks for being here. Follow along, subscribe. I don't really know what I'm doing here on YouTube. I also have a podcast that I'm probably gonna put all the audio on because I know a lot of y'all love the podcast life. So thanks for being here. If you have any comments, if you have things that you want me to share or want me to talk about, let me know. I'm open for suggestions. I am a sacral generator, and if you know human design, I love following breadcrumbs. So if you want to give me something to respond to, I love that. So anyway, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting me on this journey. And I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm excited for like last night I just was like journaling, and you know, when I have my baby, when it's like my weekends with the baby, it's like I have a lot of time to myself because he goes to bed so early. And I was just like journaling and visioning for what I think the next year is gonna look like. And I'm really excited. So I'm excited to take y'all along with me. And let's freaking go, I guess. Thanks for joining. Bye. And that's a wrap on another episode of How to Be Famous with Whitney Uland. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of self-discovery, inspiration, and tapping into celebrity energy. As always, if you found value in today's episode, then don't forget to subscribe and leave a review, or tag me on your Instagram. I'm at Whitney Uland. Your feedback helps me continue to make empowering content. And if you are ready to be the next big thing and would like to take this work even deeper and work with me directly to become a self-made celebrity, head to the links in my show notes to coach with me directly. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or gossip, or if you just want to share your own journey towards becoming a self-made celebrity, slide into my DMs. They are always open. You can find me on Instagram or TikTok at Whitney Uland, and I would love to hear your story, wins, and celebrations. Remember, this is not about fame for fame's sake. It is about the positive impact you can make, the dreams you can bring to life, and the lives that you can touch along the way. Stay classy, stay inspired, stay ambitious, and most importantly, stay famous. Oh, and stay true to your authentic self. Until next time, Whitney Uland over and out.